Well, humanoids, I am back again with another book review, and today, as you can see from the title under my chinny chin chin, I am reviewing Dust Bowl Girls, and this is by Lydia Reeder, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. I won this book in a Goodreads giveaway a few weeks ago, and it's really interesting of why I even signed up for this giveaway. I have never been a nonfiction reader. I really do find it boring, to be honest. It just never captivates me like fiction does. But I've always enjoyed basketball, and to learn about how far women have come, even in the past 100 years is amazing to me. And I thought, you know what? I'll give this a shot. And I'm glad that I did. I did rate this a 4 out of 5 stars on my Goodreads. I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, probably because I'll never pick this up to read it again. But it's a good book. It's just that I don't think, after I've gotten all the information, I don't think I'll read it again, but you never know. Maybe I will. So basically this follows the college basketball team from Oklahoma called the Cardinals in the early 1930s and their journey to the state championships or national championships. And we follow the perspectives of a girl named Doll, Lucille, and the coach, Mr. Babb. Those are the 3 characters we follow the most. And it really is just a story of how the team formed and all the obstacles they had to go through to get to nationals. We also get a little sneak peek into Babe, what's her last name? Babe Diedrichson, who was one of the most acclaimed, decorated woman athletes back in the 1930s. She had placed in the Olympics, and she also was in a basketball team from Texas, and I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but we kind of get her story as well, and how people look down upon her because she was a little bit more boyish in her looks, and because she was an athlete, and people really looked down on women athletes back in this time. And it really did read like a fiction, which I enjoyed. I didn't feel like I was reading a nonfiction book for the most part. There are times where Lydia does go into descriptions of organizations at the time that were trying to take away athletics for women, and she gives backstories on certain things, but for the most part we basically just follow Doll, Lucille, and Mr. Babb, the coach, and it's a really good book. Now, Mr. Babb was actually, I think, the great uncle of Lydia, and so it's a personal story to her, obviously, and throughout the book they actually share personal pictures from Lydia's own personal collection and also from the women that we talk about in the book. Here's one of the team. And that was really cool, just to see old-time photos of the team. And obviously you can see them here. Lucille is this one here. And then Doll is this one right here. And then there is a picture of Mr. Babb. If you want to see, that's Mr. Babb, the coach of the team. It was a really fast read. It was very interesting. It's amazing to me what people thought about when women played athletics like basketball. There was one where they're talking about how they felt like our uterus was going to explode and we'd never be able to have babies because it was too rough to be jumping up and down, and how they wanted us to play elegant sports like tennis. It's crazy to me how the people thought this. And I understand that we evolve and we learn, but it's just crazy to me. And I always feel like I separate myself from men. I am a woman, and I do feel like I can do housework better than my boyfriend. He can probably play sports better than I can. I do think there's always that division, but that doesn't involve everybody. Everybody has different skill sets, and I probably have played basketball for a couple years throughout my school years, but I probably never would have played college basketball. But I love hearing the story about these girls and how they all came. It was during the Great Depression, so people were just on really hard times. College was probably not in the back of anybody's mind at this point. It was just trying to survive from day to day. And these girls went to a Presbyterian college, and they were there on scholarship for how they played in high school. And it was talking about how Mr. Babb was very good at finessing people into trying to give them money for these girls and what he was trying to teach them. One of the weirdest rules that was in this book about basketball for females back in the day was that coaches could not coach from the sideline. They had to keep quiet. You know, it was just like some of the things and the rules that they had for women back in the day were so strange. And I thought that Lydia's writing was really good. Now, I have to say, I did get an advanced reader's copy of this book, so I don't know if this is going to be exactly the same as the published copy. I know that the actual book was released on January 24th, so it is available right now. But it is a really good book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. I liked the characters I was reading about. It was a little bit relatable in the fact that I've grown up in the Midwest and I am a woman and I have played basketball and I've thought and felt some of the things the characters have felt. And like I said, I really did enjoy that, even though this is a nonfiction book, that it read like a fiction. It kind of felt like I was reading a contemporary book about girls playing basketball. It was a really good read. Like I said, I may not pick it up again just because it is nonfiction and I feel like I have all the information now. But if you're somebody who really enjoys learning about sports back in the day, women's involvement in that, you're interested in the coaches, you're interested in the Great Depression and kind of the things that were going on. If you're interested in, teams from the Midwest, this is a book for you. It's really, really interesting. I did like it. I feel like I'm making it sound like it wasn't that good, but it really was. I thought Lydia was a great writer. Like I said, I loved the fact they placed pictures in the story. And the parts where she does go into explanation about organizations and the time period were not super boring, and she did not drag it on for a long time, which made me like this book even more and gave it a higher rating, because there are some books, even fiction books, when someone's trying to put you in a time and place, they just over-explain, and by that time you're just like, okay, I'm bored, shut up, I get it. Now, maybe someone out there likes that, but I personally don't. Like I say, in basically every book review I do, I am a character reader. I care about who I'm reading about. So when you go off on a tangent on the setting or the history, it's going to pull me away and make me uninterested in the book that I'm reading. So I really enjoyed that Lydia was able to give us the history, but not do it for 10 pages. It was like 3 or 4 at the most, which I absolutely appreciated. So like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. If you're somebody who enjoys nonfiction, the history of women or history of women athletics, this is the book for you. I do think it's really great. And like I said, this was released on January 24th, so you can go to Amazon, I'm sure, to see how to purchase this, or you can go to Goodreads and research the title or the author's name. And so, yes, 4 out of 5 stars. I'm really glad that I tried a nonfiction book, because like I said, I really did enjoy this, and it makes me less scared to maybe try a different nonfiction book, but we'll see. I have to kind of ease my way into it, because nonfiction is a scary territory for me. I mainly read fiction, and I'm glad that my real first experience with a nonfiction book that wasn't for something for school was this good. So that is the end of this book review. If you guys liked it and want to see more book reviews, go ahead and hit that like button down below my little face here. And also hit my subscribe button and join my crazy family that is on this channel, because you never know what you will see next on my channel. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.